This car is not ever gonna let me sleep at night again. I tell you, this car won't leave me alone. It won't let my mind rest. Something's not right, and we have big problems. Long story short, I already have I'm over my 500 mile second oil change that I need to do as per instructions of MAPerformance, which today we are going to take care of that in this video. But since I've already crested that 500 mile break-in period, I decided to see what happens when you get in boost. And the answer is, if I keep doing it, I'm going to have another one of those. Yeah, there's something ain't right here. When I was on the road the other day, I just locked it down in gear in sport mode. It was like fourth gear, third gear, 40 mile per hour or something, and I just easily rolled into the throttle. I didn't stab it, punch it, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I wanted to be sure I could let off as quick as possible before the boost ramped in too quick or whatever. So I just eased into it, maybe like around 25 or so on the gauge. It was really hard to tell, look at the gauge and drive. So and then I started hearing the god-awful sound that I heard, or at least it was very similar. I don't know if it was the same. It was similar sound I heard the day that engine decided to go up in pieces. The boost looked like it was going a little bit higher than I was expecting it to. Mind you, the boost max, it's hooked up. It is not on. It's bypassed, so it's not controlling anything. It's not doing anything. It's not adding any boost. I should only be seeing what this car comes from the factory. Now, with the new camshafts and the more lift on the exhaust cam, that may affect boost, but more or less it's probably just going to affect how quick the turbo, ramps in, how it spools up, which, yes, it has made a difference. And what should be controlling the boost is either the wastegate actuator or the solenoid. And it looked like it was going past where it should have. And I wasn't even full throttle yet. So as long as you're not past half throttle, you keep boost down and you're not past half throttle, it's fine. And I wanted to actually take a data log. I was going to actually go out today while I was on my way to get oil and take a data log and try to just, ease into the boost again until I heard that noise, just to see what happens in the data log. I want to see what the fuel's doing, what the boost is doing, and what the timing's doing, and if the knock sensors are pulling back timing. I'm not going to do that now because I pulled the spark plugs and I'm not happy with what I found. So if we take a look at the spark plug here, it looks a little lean, and we see those dots. We don't want to see those dots. Hold on, focus. It's a new phone I'm using for video recording. You can see those dots on the strap and everything. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's detonation. So they're all the same. It's a global fuel issue here. There's just not enough. There doesn't seem to be enough fuel. All these look lean. They all look hot. And if you haven't noticed, these are the factory plugs. And I don't know why these have a little oil on them. I am going to order a new set of the rutheniums, but I'm just running these for now since I know they work. We definitely know there's detonation happening, and it's happening on all cylinders, not just one of them, because all the spark plugs look the same. And everything looks lean, like it's not getting enough fuel. That's a problem. Now, I know what you're saying, Kirk. You put these new camshafts in. You need a tune to adjust for that. And yeah, I'm not saying that that's not the case at all, and that's very much the thing here, is that these cams, though it seems the differences are so small compared to the RS cams that were in there, that they may be big enough to throw the whole tune off where it cannot compensate for the additional air coming in. That is a great possibility. We're either having a problem with fueling, or we're having a problem with boost control, or we're having a problem with timing, and not pulling back timing when knock is evident. And if we don't figure these things out, this engine ain't gonna last long either, and I gotta get this figured out. So with all that said, I am still doing a data log, but I am not going half throttle. I just want to roll into it a little bit. I want to know what the fuel's doing. I want to know what the spark is doing. Is it pulling back spark? I need to see what's happening, because if it's spiking boost way too much, then I know I have a boost control issue. If the boost is within range, I know I got a fueling issue. So we got to get this figured out, guys. So I got to tell you, the cold starts definitely sound more, oh, hey. Why did I goof up? There it goes. More aggressive. More burbly. But once again, it's probably due to the little extra lift on those exhaust cams, I would imagine. Thankfully, you know, like, everything seems good in terms of the engine breaking in. It has great oil pressure. It runs smooth when it's, you know, not past half throttle. It's not smoking. It doesn't seem to really, I don't think it's consuming oil. So I'm about to take my data log here. Said I'm just gonna roll into it. The roads are a little wet, so I just gotta be careful. But see, look, you heard it. I know you heard that. And that was just past half throttle. That's not good. Gotta get that figured out, because if not, this engine ain't gonna make it. It really ain't. But it definitely only happens with load. You start loading the engine in like that, it's the only time I hear it. It doesn't happen any other time. I can take the engine, I mean, I can take it all the way up in RPM. Let's see. Look, I'm up here. Just keeping the load down, you don't hear it. It's when you get past that half throttle is when you hear it. It's not RPM, it's with load and boost. So hopefully that data log captured everything I needed. I was hoping not to really get it back to the knocking point again, but I need to see what's going on. So going to Walmart, get our oil, getting back home, change the oil, and we're gonna take a look at this data log together and hopefully get this figured out, or at least have a better idea of what to do next. So I'm back home. I just got done changing the oil here. I got the oil pan up on the workbench. I want to take a look at it again, just like we did the first oil change, and see what's going on. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to take off my hands are wet. I'm trying to take the catch can apart so I can see how much has made its way in there, because hopefully if everything's good and everything's, you know, sealed up well, shouldn't be much in there at all. Oh, there it goes. Man, that was really on there for some reason. Now, usually in the old engine, after 4,000 miles, this would be like, you know, a quarter of the way full normally. And now it's, wow. Now let's come over here in the light. This is pretty much empty. Where's the light? There we go. Yeah, there's hardly anything in there. It's just a little bit, not much. That's good. That makes me happy. So we're not getting a lot of blow by there, and good. Now, the oil. Let's take a look at the oil. And I can already see we have some problems here too. All right, so I cleaned this pan before I, drained the new oil here. But it looks like we still have metal flakes, and there's a lot of them. So either these are left over from the first oil change, maybe it's just accumulated at the bottom of the oil pan, or this is all new stuff from further break-in, which is a bit concerning. Now, the oil itself is not nearly as metallic looking as it was on the first oil change. I better not see nothing after this 3,000 mile oil change, because I'm not going to be happy. Generally, yes. Engines like this, you will see flakes breaking them in. You should not see flakes after multiple oil changes. It should be gone, but you will see it breaking in. And some people have even said that engine builders, they clean these engines up, but there's still, maybe small shavings left in, tiny crevices that they cannot get out because they cannot see. MAPerformance claims that when they are done machining the blocks, that they, put them in a hot tank. Okay, I'm sure that they do a swell job of cleaning, but I even found some things when I first unwrapped the engine. It looked like there was some stuff sitting on the pistons and whatnot. I don't think maybe it was metal shavings, but it was still debris of some sort. So, there's always a chance of contamination. I just think it's hard to even eliminate or state the fact that, it's completely free of any type of shavings or whatnot from the machining and assembly. Don't know what to think about that unless it is just leftover shavings from when they put the bottom end together and it just accumulated at the bottom of the oil pan, and that's what I'm seeing still. So with that, now that the oil's pretty much changed, we're gonna go in, we're gonna take a look at this data log together, and we're gonna see what's going on. I hope at least it sheds some type of light on the scenario here or the situation, and we can hopefully maybe try to find a way to remedy it. So let's go ahead and check that data log out. All right, so we have the data log pulled up here from that very unnerving little pull I did. So as we can see here, blue line is my Excel pedal position. So how much I'm putting in. As you can see, it's a pretty linear, I just kind of rolled into it, curve there. And then you can see where I stopped. The yellow line is boost. So you can see how the boost follows my input there, because I'm slowly opening the throttle. Boost is slowly ramping up. And then right when we heard that nasty sound, this is when our boost spiked. Now keep in mind, it only reads because the car's max value is only set to 22.47. Anything past that, the car doesn't know that it's there. This is what's kind of unnerving is since the boost max is off, if the boost goes past that threshold, the car should throw an overboost code, and it's not. So see how it flatlines when normally that's a good thing because that's extra boost I'm getting past factory. And when I was running the boost max, I wanted to see that. And I would see it usually on the gauge in the car, it would spike around 25, 26 and level off around 24 steady, and that's kind of where it would stay. But so far the boost looks fine. Let's see how our fuel pressure looks. This is fuel pressure desired, what the car wants. And yeah, it's following the boost curve. So that's doing what it needs to do. And then this is the boost pressure actual, and it's following the desired line really close. Fuel pressure is still really good. This ain't a fuel pressure issue. Could it still be a fueling issue? Yeah, but it ain't related to fuel pressure. Let me see. Was the intake air too hot for any reason? No. It was 78 degrees post intercooler temp. So really good air, actually. Let's go down here to our knock sensor. What did our knock sensor do? It added half a degree, went to 0. And then right when the boost came in, look, it pulled back 1.5 degrees, 4 degrees, and it quickly jumped up to 4 degrees when that started happening. So the knock sensors are working. They're doing their job. I can rule them out as a culprit to this because it's pulling back. Okay, so moving on. What about our AFR? How's our AFR look? 0.9, 0.92 as boost rolls in, goes all the way up to, see right here, when boost spikes 0.98, that is lean AF. That's unnervingly lean. And then it jumps down to 0.88. When boost comes in like that, my AFR, that number should be like a 0.85 or something. There's no reason that should be that lean. So that's a problem. Now, another thing I want to look at is my turbo wastegate percentage, how much the wastegate's actually opening up. And 31, 32, when that boost comes in, it's 35. Yeah, so it's working. The wastegate's working. It's doing what it needs to do, and that's the numbers I usually see. Now what I want to do, because this AFR is really bugging me here, that can't be right. I'm going to open up another data log, and I'm going to compare this to another data log of when I first put on the wastegate. I want to see what the AFR is on this run when it's at max boost. And this is all around the same RPM, mind you. So when the boost starts coming in, it's 0.98, 0.93, see how it goes down? I mean, it's just going down, 0.87, 0.89, 0.88. It momentarily goes back up to 0.9, 0.92. But then it starts dropping 0.86, 0.85, 0.82. It's getting richer, 0.82, 0.8. And I noticed, I would see this during these runs. You see how it can go all the way down to 0.73, and then even adds even more fuel, 0.65. And it's really rich on the stock tune, but It's a safe tune. What I do know about this is my AFR is too low. My AFR right here should be 8.5. It's almost a 1. It's trying to run Stoich with boost. That's a problem. That's a problem right there. And it's not adding fuel until it's already too late. You know, sadly, I really don't know what to make of this. I don't know if there is something actually wrong with a sensor or something. Is that a culprit of the low pressure fuel sensor? Does this car need a tune with these new cams? I don't know, but this is definitely unnerving. Until I can get the money together for the tune, I may have to find a way to mechanically limit the boost. So that would just basically, you know, be setting the preload on the wastegate actuator on the arm itself, like just cranking it open as much as it can to keep that wastegate open pretty much all the time to keep the boost down. So I don't know really what to make of it, because the fuel pressure looks fine in the data logs, but the AFR, we see it's not. So the AFR is either way off because there's just way too much air coming in and the car cannot compensate for it on the factory tune. Maybe it's passed at 30%, or we have a fueling issue, something's wrong. I'm gonna try to maybe just contact Ryan at PD Tuning and see what he has to say about it. But for now, as long as I keep my foot out of it, it runs fine. And I guess that's the important part. So, you know, as this saga it seems like it's just never going to end now with this car. It's just going to be one thing after another. But hey, it makes great content, right? So until the next video, I think let's wrap it up here for this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with everyone you know. If you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Keep a lookout for the next Karz Kreated video.